So today we got a question from Will, who's 15 years old. He's a high school wrestler. He's done jiu-jitsu, and he also has aspirations of becoming a fighter someday, a mixed martial arts fighter. Now, he says right now his father is encouraging him just to focus on wrestling. He says that he quotes his father as saying something to the effect of, people recognize it better than jiu-jitsu, and it would get you closer to your dreams faster than jiu-jitsu. I'm talking about wrestling. And so he doesn't want to argue with his dad, but at the same time, he understands that jiu-jitsu is popular, it's respected with a lot of people, and it's useful for mixed martial arts. He's wondering if I have any advice on the situation and maybe what he should do. So, brother, thank you for the question. And Will, when I was reading your message, man, I couldn't help but take away the fact that you have this, and I noticed it because I had it too, this impatience that comes from adolescence, because you're in the middle of your wrestling season and you're thinking about being a professional mixed martial arts fighter, which isn't, dude, it's not, it should be years down the road, right? Just, you got some stuff to do first. What I would say is I'm going to share some experience from me, from being a fighter, a wrestler, and a jiu-jitsu practitioner, as well as a coach who's been with those types of people as well. First things first, your dad has a point about focusing on wrestling. Dude, it's the middle of your wrestling season. And again, I don't know about you. Maybe you don't enjoy wrestling that much. I don't know. But I loved wrestling. I loved it. Like, my fondest memories from high school are from high school wrestling. When high school wrestling was going on, I loved being in high school. I loved it because I always had something to look forward to at the end of the day. But when wrestling was out of season, I didn't want to be there. I just wanted. And so for me, a lot of my best memories were from high school wrestling. I really enjoyed it. And so if you enjoy wrestling, man, I would tell you to be all in on that. Not just from the training aspect, which is important because you want to make sure your muscle memory is all wrestling. You don't want to be instinctually like giving up your back or going for a submission or something. You want to be thinking about, again, grappling the guy, getting to the pin, working that kind of stuff, working your takedowns, all that kind of stuff. The stuff that wrestling involves. But you also want to experience it because there's a lot of beautiful experiences from the wrestling room and from the competitions and all the shenanigans that happen when you're on those teams. So again, enjoy that. Enjoy it for everything that you can because it only happens once, man. Mixed martial arts fighting is down the road. Jiu-jitsu is not going anywhere. None of it's going anywhere. But wrestling, every single day, it's getting a little shorter and you're one day closer to the end of your season and to the end of your wrestling career in high school. And unless you go to college, I don't know, like maybe you do, maybe you don't. But if you don't go to college, then you'll remember that last wrestling match that you had in high school. You'll remember it. And so what I would encourage you to do, brother, is just focus on what you're doing right now. Your dad has a point to that because you want to be all in on that thing while you're doing it, especially during the season. A lot of my students who do jiu-jitsu, a lot of times you won't see them much during the wrestling season because they're all in on that wrestling. Plus the work, dude, you're competing so much. The amount of work that you guys do in the mat room anyway is a lot. I mean, you want to give your body a little bit of rest, and you want to be able to have some downtime. But then on the off season, they come back and they start playing around. They start doing jiu-jitsu and they start having fun with grappling in that way. And I actually talked to a wrestling coach just the other day because we might set up something for some of his guys to come wrestle around at the gym and do some jiu-jitsu in the off season. Because he says, man, I'm watching these kids that are doing jiu-jitsu in the off season, that do wrestling during the season, do some wrestling camps in the off season. And man, they're doing great. Like, they look amazing when they're grappling. And I'd love to get some of my guys in to try that out as well. And so again, this could be for a number of different reasons. But one thing I think that sometimes jiu-jitsu allows you to just kind of screw around a little bit because the environment's different. When you're in a wrestling room, you're competing constantly. You're always focused on the competition. Whereas in jiu-jitsu, we do focus on competition sometimes. There's competition training, but a lot of times we're just playing around with grappling, and we grapple because we enjoy doing it. Whereas wrestling's it's just a different animal. And so I would encourage you to wrestle in the off season, and then when it comes time to wrestle during the season, all in, because you only get it once, man. Now, the other side of it that I would say is, as you get older and older and older and you begin to pursue other things, your father's giving you some advice now that you don't agree with. Listen to it. Take it in, because again, he means well. His intentions are probably really good. He wants to help out his son, wants you to do well. But I also imagine he probably hasn't fought and done the things that you want to do. So listen to him. Take it in, because there might be some great wisdom to come from his life experiences to take in. But also understand that if you get a pull to go do something constructive, to go do something that you want to pursue, some mission or whatever goal that you have, go do it. Because if you listen to someone and they put that fear in you that you shouldn't go do that, that's going to be a bad thing. Because, I think about me. If I wouldn't have listened, if my mother, she was supportive, she was always supportive of me, but she did not want me to wrestle. She did not want me to do jiu-jitsu. She did not want me to fight. God, she didn't want me to fight. Don't do all this stuff. But it's made me the person I am. When I started doing this business stuff, my parents and family and stuff like that, they did not want me to do this stuff. They're like, what are you doing? This doesn't make any sense. Don't do that. Now again, I did gather a lot of life experiences from those people, right? A lot of experiences that were helpful for me. But again, at the same time, when it was time to do what I needed to do, I had to go see what happened. And, on a complete side tangent, man, like, you're at that age where in an older culture, that did like rites of passage and initiations, you would be going through that stage of where they would be initiating you as to becoming a man, because you're at that age where, you're in adolescence. You're in the in-between stage from a boy to adult. You're in the in-between right there. And so you're going through that stage of sort of becoming your own self, becoming your own man. And so again, one of the things I would encourage you to do is listen to them, take the advice, don't shun it, right? Be smart enough, because we live in a culture now with young people where they don't listen to the elders. They just like, you guys don't know what the hell you're talking about. Like, they've been there, they've done that, man. Listen to them. They've got wisdom to share. But when it comes time to forge your own path, you eventually have to go your own way as well. So I would say that. So just a little side note. The one thing I saw in the message, it was, sorry, this is a complete side tangent, but you're 15 years old, so if I can bestow anything on you, let me give you this. In your message, your dad says, get better faster, like get to your dreams faster. You're getting ready to embark in grappling, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, mixed martial arts, all this stuff. Eliminate the desire for faster. I don't know what this is. Faster, faster, faster. I always wanted to be better, but I never thought about being better faster. I was just like, I want to be better. That's it. Because you're thinking about doing something that's going to take a long time. You're not thinking about a short-term thing, bro. You're thinking about, you look at fighters, a lot of these fighters don't start hitting their mark until they're like deep into their training, years into their training, 10 years, decades, whatever. It's not like they do for a couple of years and then boom, then they are. You might see them in the UFC for a couple of years and then boom, it's 3 years in and then all of a sudden they're champion, right? But that ignores the fact that, dude, this guy's been fighting for like 12 years. You look at like Anderson Silva, that dude was like fighting in Shota way back in the day, fighting in Brazil way back in the day. And then when he got to the UFC way down the road, then it was like all of a sudden he was this monster, right? And he was always good, but when you saw him in the UFC, like when he had his run in the UFC, oh my God, he was amazing, right? So I would tell you just to ignore the idea of faster. Be better. Work to be better, see out the best instruction you can, work your tail off, be the hardest worker in the room, but don't worry about the faster aspect. I just share that because that's something that, again, I think as we get into this technological culture where everything's like, everything can press a button and, everything's just quick, it's easy. We get so used to the speed thing. And when you're talking about grappling, where you're talking about like taking knowledge and sort of instilling it into your nervous system and into your body, that's not a fast process. Be willing to play that long game with that stuff. So anyway, side tangent, but I wanted to throw that in there to you, brother. Good luck with your wrestling season. Focus on it. Get the most you can from it. And then good luck in the future with your jiu-jitsu and your fighting career. Talk to you guys next time.